Hi, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Look what we got here. Hi, Wayne. Wayne's in Louisville. Hi, William. Welcome to our Friday coffee chat. Today, I'm going to be talking about burnout and resiliency. And the reason why I thought this topic was pretty important today, this past week, April 7th, we celebrated World Health Day. And what's interesting is I find burnout is that silent epidemic in today's workforce, one that's really long predated COVID, but it is certainly one that has been made worse by the COVID pandemic. Burnout often results when demands of work and our lives become mismatched with our capacities just simply as human beings. Many of us are working harder for longer in an uncertain economy while really simultaneously juggling the responsibilities that we have in our home lives. It's becoming increasingly easy for that mismatch to occur. Now, one of the silver linings of the COVID pandemic is that more and more people are talking about burnout, and it's becoming here I need some coffee, destigmatized, because burnout can not only wreak havoc on one's livelihood, but also on one's work productivity. Burnout is not just overwork. A lot of people think burnout is overwork to the point of exhaustion. And according to this book, I'm currently reading The Burnout Fix. It's an amazing book, and I would highly encourage anybody who's looking for their next great read to check this one out. The Burnout Fix is one that we just wrapped up in a study group that I participate in. According to the Burnout Fix, burnout comes from three separate components. The first one comes from exhaustion, which I kind of think is an obvious one. It's that immense fatigue, be it psychological and that physical side of things. For example, when you take a vacation, you may feel you need a vacation from that vacation. If you're anything like me, definitely need vacations from vacations. It's where you also feel used up by the end of the workday, or you say to yourself, I cannot get up and face another day on the job. And this is really intense. The second one, yeah, I would say, is cynicism. And I think this one is really sad just because the super engaged folks who are really passionate about their work can sometimes be more susceptible to burnout. It's burnout because we love it so much. And really, that's my story about burnout. I was so loving what I was doing. I just pushed through every obstacle, which I think many folks really do, just push through and get through it. And I thought that's what resilience was. In fact, these people, ironically, actually become the biggest promoters of the business and become cynical to the point where they become less interested in their work. They just want to do their job and not be bothered. They question the mission of the organization. And that actually can be really tragic, both for the person and the team. The last one I'd share with you is efficacy. It's feeling like you're not making progress on the job, feeling like you're not effective in getting things done or making an effective contribution to the work. Think of a Venn diagram. So each of these three components, we've got efficacy, we've got cynicism, and we've got that exhaustion. So think of that Venn diagram and where you land within each of those points. In the middle, where that Venn diagram comes together, is actually burnout. So to be aware of where you stand in the whole world of burnout, it's important to identify where you fall or what point you fall within that Venn diagram. Now, there's plenty of different skills that come in handy in the workplace, and without a doubt, resiliency is one of those big ones. To boil it down, a simple definition of resilience is being able to deal with life's curveballs in a healthy and productive way. When you face adversity or when a stressful situation arises during your workday, resilience means dusting yourself off and dealing with it as opposed to crumbling under pressure. But let's face it, Life at work can be tough, as we all know, which means that resilience doesn't come natural to everyone. Fortunately, it is actually a skill that anyone can actively work on refining. Now, when it comes to on the job competencies, soft skills aren't something that you hear much about when compared to those more qualifiable achievements and technical capabilities. But I will share, you can rest assured, soft skills carry some serious weight as well. Now, you may be asking yourself, what makes resilience in particular so important? I would say let's just take a moment to think about all the stressful things that can crop up at work. Perhaps you receive some negative feedback from your boss. Maybe you missed a major deadline. Perhaps you made a big mistake on an important project. Or maybe your company is going through a restructuring and your future feels somewhat shaky. The list can go on and on, in fact. And because there's no denying that work life can be stressful. Just as an example, I would share with you for Americans here living in the US, work appears to become or shows up on the list as one of the top three most common stressors, right behind money, according to a recent a recent stress study. Here, I need more coffee. So, what that tells us is that makes resilience an even more desirable trait in the hiring world, both for employers who are looking for workers who can roll with the punches, and also for professionals who just want to be able to manage their careers without that ridiculous amount of anxiety. Mental resilience is an essential life skill for ambitious workers who seek to further their career. I think possessing resilience has become somewhat of a roadmap for how we can just let job pressures roll off our back. There's actually research out there that shows employees with a high degree of resilience are less susceptible to burnout and psychological distress. And I think resilience is somewhat of a broad term, one that raises the question, what are the qualities that allow us to overcome challenges, obstacles, hardships, and adversity instead of being defeated by them? And that's what I'd leave you off with as you wrap up this work week and head into the next. What are those qualities that allow you to overcome challenges? What does resiliency look like for you in order to avoid that big burnout, if you will? Have a great Friday. Enjoy your cup of coffee before you get your day off. Please be safe out there, and I'll see you the next time around. Thanks.